warning, Doolittle decided to take off 10 hours ahead of schedule. Plans are changed on an hour's notice. Motors begin to warm up. Never before have big loaded bombers been launched in such numbers from a carrier at sea. For months they've trained secretly. Now for the test. Doolittle's plane is first down the runway.
Messaging or internet? News from a movie reel. We'll to see the double feature on Saturday afternoon. This is how the American people learned. Also been some casualties during the raid. But much of the surprise. So the Air Corps then went to the Marine Corps and said, hey, would you like some of these B-25s? And they said, well, of course. And in the tradition of the military, they changed the nomenclature.
High or business school, the Army's got work for you. Work is vital to victory. The Army wants to bring enlistment from the WWII up to 200,000. That means 200,000 more soldiers for combat. While
Cleared for takeoff. President Roosevelt pointed out that it would be a complete effort on the part of the American citizenry to win the war, and this included having women Air Force service pilots, and women who were working in the factories to help.
And they flew us for a while, which was live trucks, tanks, oil drums, huts, lots of huts, tents, and just endless quantities of material for the occasion. And they put us on a ship, pretty decent. It was 30-day leave. I was on the train between San Diego and Panama, and the night I got home, Kenosha, Wisconsin, that was the second time to think about it. By the time you start thinking about it, you're down. I didn't mind that in some sense. That's what got me.
Aspect to it, so you had a much easier time seeing the enemy, especially if they were trying to sneak up behind you in the D model. Nice little audio experience for you because you heard the Allison-powered P-40 go by, the Allison engines, and taxiing right in front of us now. Now the P-51 Mustangs, which are Merlin-powered. The Allison P-40s have sort of a sweet sound. The Mustang is a little more of a bark. As our Mustangs taxi by the lead Mustang, Roosevelt, you'll notice that one looks different than the two that are following it. That's because the first Mustang is a P-51 C model, Charlie model. Merlin, Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. From the Commonwealth, you'd have to go with the Spitfire. Sharp's Chariot, which is passing through Show Center right now. Sorry, that's Gunfighter. also went to England, where he was assigned to the famous Mighty 8th Air Force in July of 1945. He's also piloted an airplane. He's from Vicksburg, Mississippi. Dan has also started an air music generation program, a family-run heavy construction company that works on the Mississippi River. Dan is a past witness informed of all African-American pilots during World War II. Segregation was the norm in the United States in 1925, as the war ended, most famously flying the B-51 Mustang to cover the bombers. Gunfighter, break out and some aerobatic scores. Interesting contrast in capabilities here with the P-51C flying through aircraft, everything, like I said, from the primary trainers all the way up to the B-29 Super Fortress Fifi, which we will see fly in just a little bit. Looks like a hesitation roll, 4-point hesitation roll, stopping at every 90 degrees on the compass. Maneuver that was used to sharpen your skills, stick and rub your skills to really stop at each of those compass points. Deeply measured. So it's been several other parachute drops during World War II. B-17s and B-24s, unfortunately, would not return home. Bomb bay doors are open. This is the B-17 Flying Fortress. It's a very innovative design. It has tricycle landing gear, which was unusual in the 1940s. It actually can fly faster and carry more bomb load than the B-17. And I guess we're done with some action. Famous raids that involved the B-24 from bases in North Africa. The B-24s were launched in several raids in Ploesti. Ploesti was the oil production center in Romania, which processed 500,000 tons of petroleum. Target is piloted the Allied Air Force. They've been told that the casualty rate might be as high as 50%. During the raid, the B-24s came into Ploesti so low that there were reports of corn stalks stuck in some of the bomb bay doors. The attack lasted less than a half an hour, but during that half an hour, more than 300 tons of explosives were dropped at Ploesti. More than 50 airplanes returned, 178 were left, and only a few of those were remaining in flying position by airplanes during the Ploesti raids. This B-24 is the oldest B-24 in existence. It's actually a B-24A model. Initially, the airplane was made by Consolidated and was going to go to England as part of the Land-Lease Act. But a landing accident caused them to pull that airplane out of the... Because there's such a speed difference between the big bombers and the fighters will actually do what's called a weave. They'll fly back and forth, left and right, so they can stay with the bombers, not outrun them. Sister ship, B-24. Right now.
It has a pressurized cabin, permitting high-altitude flight without oxygen masks. It has 5 remotely controlled, electrically driven turrets, each carrying twin 50s, with a 20mm cannon added to the turret in the tail. Yes, the B-29 is everything you've been promised.
So the B-29 is about to taxi out.
Shot to be pilot for Eisenhower was coming back on active duty. And he said, Eisenhower coming back on active duty? I said, yeah, he's going to be the head of NATO. He said, and I've got a chance to be his pilot? I said, yeah. He said, I want him. I want him. So I was relieved right away.
Yeah. Now you can see as the fighters are taking just a slightly different trajectory than the B-24 World War II veterans who was here yesterday, and he was a tail gunner on the SPD Dauntless. And he told us yesterday that in the dive bombing runs, the Dauntless and even the Helldiver would approach the target at approximately a 70-degree angle, almost pointing straight down, pull out. Fifi is taking off right now.
Oh,
B-29
boy.
Superfortress.
Yeah. Boy,
Well, Dave, we are
Good genes and the bad aim of a lot of German gunners. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Negotiations were made with the government to finally obtain an airframe, and a dedicated crew from the CAF went out to that desert storage area and looked over the airframes that were there, picking this particular airframe, as one story goes, because it had the best PCRs of any of the airplanes that were in storage. From your right. On that August day in 1945, the airplane would have been flying much higher. But there were only 3 that were in formation that day. Hardly enough for anyone to even notice until the atomic bomb was dropped. And the reason they picked this particular airframe was because it had the best glass of all of the B-29s that were in storage. Right now, approaching from the left, we're going to do our Arsenal of Democracy photo pass. See each of our bombers and our transports pass through.
To fly and fight, who have served their country in the sky with a grateful heart and watchful eye. We and may the faithful, proud machines who bore the sword of freedom on their wings be given the honor such a burden brings when we so that all who see them will know that their freedom was won by the blood that flowed, for what flesh and blood and steel have earned. But may the greatest glory be reserved for the colors they so bravely serve. Keep them flying, so that all who see them will know that our freedom was won by the blood that flowed, and we
To the vision and foresight of General Billy Mitchell, who died in bitter disappointment, not knowing that one day his dreams would be fulfilled. In the slot, in the formation that is coming toward us from the west, one of our airplanes will leave a vacant slot. Please join us in remembering those brave souls who never came home those fateful days. Those who loved and were loved, saw dawn, felt sunsets glow. Those who loved life the same as we, yet sacrificed it all on the altar of freedom, so we may gather here today and breathe the sweet air of freedom. And as we salute them, may God bless our country. Fold up those wings just like it would be on the carrier. Everybody, now, we're going to make you honorary marshallers for the day, right? Okay, so put your arms straight out. Put your arms straight out. Come on. No, at your side, and there you go. And now lift them up, and John's going to fold the wings. 3, 2, 1, wing fold. Just like that, you save yourself a lot of room on the aircraft carrier deck. Now, once the wings were folded on the carrier deck, the marshallers on the carrier deck would move the aircraft into its parking position. Notice that John's kind of weaving back and forth a little bit. You'll see that on a lot of our tail dragger airplanes. The reason for that is is that you can't really see out the front because you're sitting at such an angle, so you have to kind of sashay back and forth so you can see out the left and out the right. So that's why you see a lot of the tailrider pilots doing that. Now, as John taxis by with the helldiver, he's going to turn back in because before we can park the airplane, we have to unfold the wings. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we did, except in reverse. And John will take our cue to unfold the wings. All right, John is in position now. Now we're going to reverse things, so put your arms over your head, right? Up over your head. He's watching for you. And then we're going to move them down and unfold the wings. 3, 2, 1. And there we go. You are now a qualified, well, semi-qualified aircraft carrier deck member. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to have your complete silence as we salute all of our countrymen whose lives have been sacrificed for our country's freedom.